Carrollton Police Department. Just wanted to update you on our recovery efforts. The recovery efforts are continuing today. From the scene yesterday at 209 5th Street in Carrollton, the scene of that structure fire. As of this morning, early, our first responders worked diligently through the night. It is a very tedious, time-consuming recovery. As a result of their efforts, as of this morning, there was 2 victims located inside the structure. That has changed within the last hour. We have now located a 3rd victim that is inside the structure. And after speaking to family members, we believe that there may be 1 additional victim inside that residence that we are still looking for. Those recovery efforts will continue diligently, methodically, to search that structure until everybody is located that we think is inside that residence. That's going to be done by the Carrollton Police Department. We have also been assisted by the Carrollton Fire Department, West Side Fire Department, the Gent Fire Department here in Carroll Counties, the Carroll County Emergency Management Team, the Kentucky State Police Arson Investigators Unit, the State Fire Marshal Office, and the Kentucky State Coroner's Mass Casualty Unit. We have coroners here from across the state assisting in this recovery effort. The City of Carrollton has been very diligent and very helpful in obtaining counseling, employee assistance for anyone that needs assistance while they're dealing, the first responders that is dealing with this recovery. The family at this time is asking for their privacy. If anyone has contact information or contacts them, please give them their time to grieve. It's a terrible loss for that family, as you can imagine. At this time, I'd like to just say to please keep that family in your prayer. Keep the first responders of Carroll County in your prayers, and keep this community, the Carroll County community, in your prayers. I'll open it up and take a few questions. Also, anything with the recovery, related specifically to the recovery, I'll refer to Tony Crutcher. He's here with me today. He is our Emergency Management Director, and he'll take any questions that I probably can't answer about the recovery effort.
Is there any update on the condition of the toddler that was rescued from the fire?
I have spoke to the family today. The toddler is improving, is continuing to improve. And the outlook looks promising for the toddler.
For those of us who are just getting up to speed, can you go over how many people you've recovered and how many you think were in the house altogether?
At this point, we have recovered 3 victims. We believe at this point there is a 4th victim inside the residence.
Are you able to say who the 4th victim is?
I am not. We're not going to release any names, ages, genders, or anything at this point in the investigation.
Can you go into any detail, this might be for either of you, can you go into any detail about how they are going through that rubble? And I'm asking that question because earlier today I saw at one point a couple of people tossing bricks out of their way one at a time. Seemed to be that meticulous. So if you could elaborate a little bit on the task in front of them.
That's probably going to be a better question for our Emergency Management Director. I'll let him answer those questions for you.
Thank you for the question. First off, please keep this family in your prayers and your thoughts. Horrible tragedy that occurred yesterday. Our meticulous workflow that we have is a combination of heavy equipment to move the large debris, and then we also are going hand by hand through that material, making sure we don't miss anything. We do have coroner's office from around the state that are assisting with us. We also include dogs that are helping with that search to ensure that we don't miss anything. So it's a lengthy process. It takes time. This started immediately after the fire was out, that investigation, and has continued to this point. We do not know how long this investigation will last as far as recovery efforts.
Are those dogs trained to sniff out bodies?
They are trained for that purpose, yes.
Just to get clarification, when were you able to put out the fire? When did it stop?
So approximately 5:59, we got the call yesterday morning. we had first responders, including law enforcement, there within approximately 2 to 3 minutes to help facilitate rescue. It was a heavy fire, a large amount of fire. This was a large home, and it was fully engulfed by the time we had our fire department personnel there. So we had control within an hour of that fire. Now, once your initial fire is out, it does take time. You have a lot of hot spots that we incur. So there was a lengthy process of making sure it was out and to the point it was safe for recovery team efforts to approach.
We know the roof collapsed. I believe the house has a basement. Did the floor collapse into the basement as well?
Yeah, majority of the home did collapse due to the heavy amount of fire that incurred.
Into the basement?
A majority of that debris did end up in the basement.
Can you talk about how first responders at the scene are doing? You mentioned counselors earlier.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that question. Our local responders, along with other adjacent counties that have responded to this, have done an outstanding job. So they have worked relentlessly throughout the night. We've had control of that scene since it started. They are doing well. We did have immediate crisis debriefing counselors on scene yesterday within hours. They have been available to us this whole time, and we will continue to have a formal crisis debrief with our emergency responders early next week.
You talked about, you're getting a lot of assistance, and I saw both Oldham County and Rowan County coroners on scene. Is that typical to have that much of a response for a scene this big, or is it just such a big scene you needed that additional help?
So our state coroners offices have a great network. Typically, when you suspect that you may have multiple fatalities, they will go ahead and have a team respond to help the local services. Understand this small community, right? You don't have a lot of resources here when you have multiple fatalities, that potential. So they will go ahead and send a team to assist. They've been wonderful to work with.
What has that support been like from other counties and other teams? It seems like it's been quite an effort to support you guys during this time.
So for emergency responders, it's a family, whether it's law enforcement, EMS, or fire, including our coroner's office. Everybody has worked wonderfully together. We've established our incident command system from the first moment this incident occurred, and that has been carried throughout. So they're all working within our fire chief, our Carrollton fire chief, and have done an outstanding job in working through this.
When were the hot spots totally cooled down?
So it was this morning before we could safely approach. We did do some work last night in certain portions of the incident, but we worked throughout the night to ensure we were cool on hot spots. A lot of debris there, a lot of heat that we had to work through.
Were the debris and the heat some of the major factors in this recovery effort?
Yeah, as far as hindering that?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So there was some time lapse there where we had to wait, especially throughout the night, because it was either not safe for those recovery efforts to take place. So we had to have good plans to be able to mitigate through that.
When the first responders show up to a scene like this, they're showing up obviously with the idea that they can rescue some people. The idea that there was nothing they could do in this situation has to weigh pretty heavily on them. Can you speak to that at all in your years of experience doing this kind of work?
Yeah, so for our responders that we have there, we had a lot of seasoned folks that responded. This is not the first time that they've incurred these types of situations, unfortunately. It's something that we train for, something that you never get used to. And no human ever should have to be exposed to that. One of the great reasons why we need to make sure we keep our responders in your thoughts and prayers as well as they work through this incident.
You mentioned that they've been working through the night, you've had a lot of agencies assisting. I guess until you potentially find maybe that other victim, how long will, I guess, you be on scene to continue to clean up, and how long does it seem like this take, I guess, depending on recovery efforts?
Yeah, so as far as recovery, we'll continue this until we meticulously, again, go through every piece of debris, every piece of that recovery effort to make sure we reclaim as much as we can for the families.
When can we foresee another update from you guys?
You want to speak on that?
This is going to be, that really depends upon when we're able to locate the fourth victim, and anytime there's a change, there's not any need of us updating you if we don't have an update. So as soon as we can locate that, what we believe there being there, the fourth victim, then we'll be back with another briefing.
In your tenure, has this community
No, sir. No, sir. I've seen structure fires, but never one with this amount of casualties.
Can you confirm if the call for the emergency response came from inside the house or not?
There was 2 911 calls that came into the dispatch center. I can't confirm at this time where those calls came from.
Was there any issues shutting off the electric at the scene?
Do you know that, Tony?
So as part of any structure fire response, we do make sure that we cease any utilities there from a safety perspective. Utilities was requested early on. They are the ones that are trained and qualified to be able to turn those utilities off. We did have, due to the heat of the fire, some of those utilities severed because of the flames and the heat. But we did go ahead and have them show up. They were there within a reasonable amount of time to be able to disconnect any other utilities. Local utilities, as far as natural gas, was also shut off early on.
Did you guys mention the cause here?
No, we have not. There is not. We've had the State Fire Marshal again, State Fire Marshal's office, and the Kentucky State Police here to try and determine the cause and origin. But that's their specialty. They will determine that.
People from around Kentuckiana are looking at this. Is there anything that you guys need people to do? You mentioned prayer for the family and for the community. Is there anything else that people can do who are looking at this and have concerns and want to help?
Well, the community, this community itself has really pulled together. There has been food for the first responders. There's been outreach for the families. There was a vigil held last night here locally for the family. The biggest thing that we can do for these individuals in this community is our prayers.
Could you elaborate just a little bit when you say the outlook looks promising for the toddler? Can you tell us what she's being treated for, the nature of her injuries?
I can't really elaborate. I don't know. I spoke to family. They said the child, as of yesterday, was still intubated, but was still continuing to improve.
Is there anything you want people to know about Carrollton outside of this tragedy?
That this community has pulled together like no community that I've been a part of. It's a very tight-knit community, and again, that's the reason I say we need to pray for this community. The whole community, when one hurts, the whole community hurts here.
Has it been confirmed that the resident that lived there, that left the home prior, was a male resident?
There was a male that left the residence prior, yes. Okay, thank you.